Imagine a moment so explosive, so raw, that it shattered the carefully constructed image of American politics in just 30 seconds. A live debate, two powerful figures, one comment that set the nation on fire. What you're about to witness isn't just a political clash. It's the moment when ambition collided with identity and the truth about modern America was laid bare for all to see. This isn't scripted drama. This is real. Unfiltered, brutal. One sentence tore through the air, like a grenade, and what followed turned a debate stage into a battlefield. Millions watched in shock. Social media erupted, careers crumbled, and as the dust settled, America was forced to confront an uncomfortable question. Who gets to define what it means to be American? If you think you know the answer, think again. This is the political moment that changed everything, and you're about to see why. The tension in the CNN debate studio was thick enough to cut with a knife. Under the scorching lights, two of America's most controversial political figures faced off, preparing for what would become the most shocking political moment of 2025. Karoline Leavitt, the ambitious 27-year-old former White House press secretary, turned congressional candidate, sat upright in her signature navy blazer, every strand of her blonde hair in place, her gaze fierce with purpose. She had once been Trump's youngest spokesperson. Opposite her, Kash Patel, 45, former FBI director nominee and son of Indian immigrants, adjusted his tie with the precision of a man seasoned by years in intelligence. The next 30 seconds would alter their political destinies and shake the nation. Mr. Patel, Leavitt began, her tone sharp, maybe it's time you stopped pretending to understand American values and went back to India where you belong. The air froze. The studio gasped. Anderson Cooper blinked in disbelief. Social media would later dub it the most racist remark ever aired live by a major political figure. But what came next, Patel's response, no one expected. His comeback wouldn't just shatter Leavitt's career. It would reveal something deeper about America, something no one could ignore. Before we unfold this dramatic turning point, make sure to like and subscribe, because what happens next isn't just news. It's history in the making. This wasn't politics as usual. This was America's reckoning, broadcast for the world. By the time the cameras stopped rolling, one career would be finished. One transformed. And the country would finally have to ask, what does it mean to be American? To understand how this firestorm began, we must first understand who these two figures are, and why this debate struck such a nerve in America's conscience. At just 27, Karoline Leavitt had already reached political heights many only dream of. Raised in a blue-collar Catholic household in New Hampshire, she learned discipline, patriotism, and conservative ideals. Graduating from St. Anselm College, she quickly rose through the ranks, landing in Trump's White House comms team at just 24. Her fierce loyalty and quick tongue made her a conservative favorite. She became the youngest White House press secretary in U.S. history. But her rise was divisive. Critics called her a political attack dog. Supporters hailed her as a fearless fighter. After leaving the White House, she launched a congressional run, New Hampshire's 1st District, pushing America First values and conservative revival. She wanted to be the future of Trumpism. Kash Patel's story, however, embodied the American dream, though Leavitt weaponized it against him. Born in New York to Indian immigrants who came in the 70s, Patel saw his father work multiple jobs just to survive. He earned a law degree, served as a federal prosecutor, chased terrorists and cartels, and risked his life in undercover ops. In Trump's administration, he became a trusted advisor on national security and led key anti-terrorism efforts. Trump even nominated him to lead the FBI, a nomination fiercely opposed by Democrats. Patel wasn't a politician. He was a patriot who had risked everything to serve. Yet to some, his brown skin made him a target. This debate wasn't just about two political stars. It came amid growing identity tensions in America. Leavitt spoke for those fearing a cultural shift. She stood for real Americans. Patel stood as proof that love for country transcends ancestry, that immigrants, too, can be loyal patriots. The stage was CNN's, the theme, national security. Both had credentials, Leavitt as a spokesperson. During global crises, Patel with real-world intel experience. But as questions began, so did the tension. Cooper opened with border security, safe ground. Leavitt called for tighter control. "America must come first," she declared. "Our leaders must serve us, not outsiders." Patel responded with calm strength. "I've spent my life catching real threats. I know the difference between fear and facts." Then Cooper asked, "About Trump's immigration policies?" Leavitt struck, "We need leaders who understand American values." Her eyes fixed on Patel. Patel calmly replied, "I've risked my life for this country." Leavitt doubled down. "Real Americans don't need to prove their loyalty. It's in their blood." That phrase, "real Americans," chilled the room. Cooper shifted in his chair. Producers behind the scenes began to panic. Patel's jaw clenched. But his voice. The atmosphere in the CNN studio grew even more charged. Patel's jaw tightened slightly, but his voice remained calm and firm. "Miss Leavitt," he said evenly, "are you suggesting that American citizenship is determined by bloodline rather than by values and sacrifice?" "I am," Leavitt snapped back, her tone sharpening. "Some of us feel America in our bones. Others have to learn it. From textbooks." A ripple of discomfort spread through the audience. The debate had shifted from policy to identity, and everyone in the room knew it. Online, the storm was already brewing. Hashtags like Born Real Americans and Immigrant Pride exploded across social media platforms. Anderson Cooper attempted to return the conversation to practical policy, asking for specific border security proposals. But Leavitt wasn't letting go. She had smelled blood. She was no longer debating policy. She was attacking Patel's right to speak as an American. "Mr. Patel talks a lot about values," she said, eyes locked on him. "But when push comes to shove, where do his loyalties, really lie? When he looks in the mirror, does he see an American, or does he see something else?" Gasps echoed around the room. This was no longer veiled rhetoric. It was a direct challenge to Patel's American identity. Cooper hesitated. His eyes flicked to the producers. Should he step in, or let the clash play out? At home, millions of viewers, especially immigrants, and children of immigrants, felt the sting of familiarity. They'd heard these lines before, lines that questioned their belonging, no matter how much they had done for the country. But Patel didn't flinch. His voice remained composed, almost unsettlingly so. He stared directly at Leavitt with the same quiet intensity he had once used in interrogation rooms. "Miss Leavitt," he said softly, "I'd be careful about the path you're going down." Leavitt either ignored the warning or welcomed the challenge. She was doubling down. "You've served, and I respect that. But there's a difference between serving America and understanding it. Some of us were born with that understanding. Others," she paused deliberately, "will always be trying to prove they belong." Her words were surgical, cold, precise, and calculated to wound. The implication was unmistakable. Patel would never be fully American in her eyes. Patel nodded slowly, as if he had anticipated this exact line of attack. "I see," he said, his voice clear. "So you believe identity is a matter of ancestry, not action. That's a very interesting take for someone who claims to uphold constitutional values." "I believe," Leavitt shot back, her voice rising, "that America should be led by those whose loyalty has never been in question." Now the crowd stirred. Some applauded her unapologetic stance. Others looked visibly uneasy. Cooper glanced off camera, receiving frantic instructions from CNN executives unsure whether to cut to commercial or let this historic exchange play out. Then Patel did something no one expected. He smiled. Not a smirk, a calm, confident, almost serene smile. A smile that said, "Now it's my turn." "Miss Leavitt," he said, a new tone in his voice, "you want to talk about who really belongs in this country? Then let me tell you a story. It's about my family. And it's about yours." For the first time, Leavitt's expression faltered. Something in Patel's tone suggested that this wasn't improvisation. This was planned. He had been waiting for this. "You see," Patel continued, his voice deepening, "I've spent years in intelligence, years learning how to uncover truth, years learning how to read people. And I've learned one thing above all. If you want to question someone's loyalty, you'd better make sure your own past is spotless."